Welcome back, another episode of the Middle Age Grind. And today, what we're going to go over is our monthly household food department store budget and some of the things we did, three main points that really rein this in. And I'm going to flip around and give you is our budget here, and I'm going to focus so you guys can see that. Now, as you can see, this budget, what the projected percentage of our overall household budget is, and we'll get into that other points in a later video, is 22% of our household income goes to this. Now, keep in mind, we have a 6-person family, so some of you might look at these numbers and say, wow, you're spending this much on groceries and this much on restaurants. We have 4 kids from 9 to 14 and a growing family, and my wife and myself. And this is our monthly budget. Now, what are the 3 ways that we really rein this in? Okay. And I'm going to start off with number 1. Number 1 was we meal plan, right? So my wife and I started doing this where instead of kind of guessing what you're going to cook every day and going on a whim, we come up with a weekly plan on what we're going to eat. And we get our kids involved. We let them know on Saturday or Sunday night, what are some of the things you want? To give you an example for this week, Monday's red beans, South Louisiana, okay? Tuesday, spaghetti and meatballs. Wednesday is gumbo. Thursday is going to be tomato soup with grilled cheese. Friday, we're going to do steamed shrimp. And Saturday, we're going to do pizza, all at home, right? And of course, Mother's Day is going to be this coming Sunday, and we're going to do some family stuff there. But once we started meal planning for the week, it really changed a lot of stuff because we weren't doubling up going to the grocery stores multiple times. The second main point, and this is huge for my wife and I. Number 1, we're on the same page, but we're coordinating food, and we find that going shopping on Saturday night is actually, number 1, it's not that crowded, and number 2, it's something fun we do now. What we try to do is some of the stuff as far as the groceries go, what we're cooking for meals. We like to go to, we have a Rouse's, more of a supermarket, even in a Keista Pace. Meat, produce, that kind of stuff. And there's also the paper towel kind of fun there, and Walmart, Sam's kind of stuff. And that's the thing, once a week, we're really going to kind of each one of those type of stores. And you're not buying paper towels every week, or soap or whatever, but we're pretty much going on a Saturday night or even a Sunday to those 2 main stores, and we're pretty much done for the week. Now, you're always going to have something that comes up, and one of the places we like to shop for just little things, and it's actually right in front of our neighborhood, there's an Aldi, and Aldi has pretty good products. If you just, oh man, I really need another head of lettuce, or I need some tomatoes, or we just ran out of eggs or something like that. That's kind of just a supplemental run a little bit there that we're doing. Now, the third point, and this is what really reined in this, because Dave Ramsey said it, and this is totally true. If you don't know what you're spending a month, if you don't do a budget, you are spending way more on food than you think you are. And that's what was happening to us. If you'd have told me what we were spending some months on food, I said, no way. And then when you actually start tracking it, you realize, oh my God, and this is the one budget area that we as a family, and I think everyone probably consistently spends a lot more than you think. And the third point that really reined this in for us, when you look at those 2 line items there, in the restaurants and the fast food and the coffee. Okay, and I say coffee, that could be running to Starbucks, bubble tea for the kids, Smoothie King, and then all that. We do the envelope system for these two items. Once a month, we put $1,000 in an envelope for our restaurants. That's our restaurant budget. When we run out of that, there's no more eating at restaurants anymore. It's done. Sometimes we have leftovers, sometimes we don't. Sometimes it's the 25th and we ate it up. And I know that sounds like a lot. To give you an example, we went to a Mexican restaurant this weekend that we like, and didn't go crazy, didn't have alcohol. My wife and I pretty much get water. We let the kids get Cokes and Sprite, that kind of thing. Our bill with the tip was $150. And this isn't some fine dining establishment. And that's what we're finding nowadays. A lot of the places we go to that used to be under 100, they're getting to be in the 150 range. So that $1,000 sounds like a lot. That might end up being only going to 4 or 5 restaurants a month. And we're okay with that. Same thing with the fast food and the coffee. We take the envelope, and I just give that to my wife because, taking the kids here and there, that kind of stuff. Sometimes I'm working, and when that runs out, there's no more going to get ice cream. There's no more going to get Starbucks for the month. This is what really, I believe, reined it in for us. And coming back to me here on the screen, there were some months we were going over significantly in this budget. And it was like, wow, my God, I can't believe we're spending $5,000 a month on this stuff. But this is living. And keep in mind, as mentioned in a previous video, we don't have consumer debt. We don't take on debt. Every other category in our budget was pretty much not shocking. You kind of know, you take the electric bills, you divide them over the year, even with inflation, it's going to be. Your insurance costs, your mortgage, that kind of stuff is not really surprising. It's kind of ho-hum. It's kind of, what it's going to be. This was the one area we were going over, sometimes by 20 or 30%. And what that was not allowing us to do as part of our overall plan in baby steps 4, 5, and 6 of the Ramsey plan, when we were going over in this part of our budget, we didn't have that excess margin to put towards the mortgage. Yeah, we're saving. In the previous video, our savings budget is $3,700 a month. We're hitting. It's basically what this is, a little bit less. It wasn't like we were taking on debt or anything. It was like, man, I don't have any extra money to put on the mortgage. We want to get this thing knocked out. And of all the stuff, the meal prep, the coordinating with your spouse, I think the biggest thing is the envelope system just for the restaurants and fast food. The groceries, sometimes we pay cash and we go in the Ramsey app and we mark that, but a lot of times we just put that on our debit card and run with it. And it's really allowing us to stay within that. And I'll do an update in a later episode where we're at. We're just in the beginning of May right now, and we got a lot of stuff going on too. That's another thing. What's May? My wife's birthday is actually today. Mine's in May. We have nieces, nephews, graduations in May, gifts. That's part of this part of our budget too. So staying in line, and I think the reason why I'm doing these videos, this is something that's worked for us. And I think we're just like normal people out there just trying to make a living and living in these crazy times. And if this can help you out, please share this video with someone else. It helped us out tremendously. And with that said, we'll see you next time on the Middle Age Grind.